What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Somebody once told me that I'd never make top 8. Now I'm up for Player of the Year. Making them look really dumb when I win on my winning run. Now everyone knows why I'm here. Well, the wins start coming and they don't stop coming. Got my bomb played, didn't see that one coming. Didn't make sense to swing for the win. Looks like the shufflers broke again. So much to build, so much to tweak. So what's wrong with playing 3 colors? You got them all away that hand. You gotta play good till the end. Hey now, you're a champion. Play for Player of the Year. Hey now, you're a winner. Show everyone you're here. And only one will win. Everyone else will try again. It's a cool group. We got Cody and Johnny. Raphael just made it into the potty, but don't get stressed by the competition. It's only 3 rounds and then you will get in. The cards we get are gonna get me killed. My deck isn't made, so I may as well build. My pool is garbage, how about yours? Better get lucky with some commons and more. Hey now, you're a champion. Play for Player of the Year. Hey now, you're a winner. Show everyone you're here. And only one will win. Everyone else will try again.
Imprisoned in the moon. Imprisoned in the moon. Remember when it was a rare? Imprisoned in the moon. Imprisoned in the moon.
Hey now, you're a champion. Play for Player of the Year. Hey now, you're a winner. Show everyone you're here. And only one will win. Try again. Somebody once asked, should I swing or should I pass? I need to finish up before my next game. I said, yep, let's move to that step. I could use a new hand myself and we can all visit another plane. Well, the wins keep coming and they don't stop coming. Play my bomb rare, didn't see that one coming. Didn't make sense to swing for the win. Looks like the shufflers broke again. So much to build, so much to tweak. So what's wrong with playing 3 colors? You never mull away that hand. You gotta play good till the end. Hey now, you're a champion. Play for Player of the Year. Hey now, you're a winner. Show everyone you're here. And only one will win. Everyone else will try again. Only one will win. Everyone else will try again. Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Who remembers that classic Player of the Year song? Yes, for newer listeners, this is my 3rd time covering Player of the Year. I do a song every year, so we get to start last week with this year's song. This was last year's song, and then next week we're going to have the original Player of the Year song, and I do a new song for every set, every league anyway, right? Although this whole thing is messed up, but we'll get to it in a second. But hi everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome on in. This is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Sealed Arena Gauntlet League that we know, love, and play in. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku, or Go Home. I am a 4-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I got knocked out of Player of the Year. It's true, I did. We're going to talk about it. There's just so much to talk about, and that's the point. That's what I'm getting at here up top. Last week was Player of the Year kickoff. Normally, I see Player of the Year all the way through the end, at least as far as my media management and show naming is concerned, right? This should be Player of the Year week 1. But it's not. It's Duskmorn kickoff. So it's kind of 2 shows at once. And I need to talk about it up top because there's a formula I follow, and if you don't understand the formula, it may not make sense, right? Normally we do the Dustborn song up top, Dustborn League, boom, here's the Dustborn song. No, we're in Player of the Year still. We're still going through the Player of the Year songs, okay? We got one more Player of the Year song next week. We'll get to that later. What about the drops? Oh, we don't normally we get the new drops on the new league. Here's the thing. I really like going back over the drops from the last year. One, it's a nice swan song to things we did. You know, as Player of the Year is this culmination of the year. So are me replaying the drops and things from the last year, right? It's similar to Player of the Year. I try to mirror the thing, but no, we're in Duskborn now. So here's the thing. The Dustborn drops are going to be a week or two away. We're not doing the Dustborn drops. I still want to play some of the old ones. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to say goodbye and to say hello. And it's just because there's two things happening at the same time. And I can only really theme the show around one thing. It's hard for me to theme around two separate things. That's what's going on. It's Hunt the Week. I'm Goku or go home. Okay, you know me. We have a segment we get into first before we get into the other segment. Let's go ahead and get to that first segment now.
That's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what.
That's right. I say segment because, I don't know what drops I'm playing as I record. I'm going through the old stuff. I'm going through the archives. We're finding some fun things to maybe make us remember. Digging in the dirt last week. People loved it. But it's Player of the Year. It is Duskmorn. Where do we start, right? I guess we start with Player of the Year. I didn't make it, which is fine. Again, I'm not upset about that at all, actually. I am so happy to be included and to be participated in and to have my name in the Player of the Year hat, which I didn't think was going to happen, and then it did at the last minute. My pool, it was fine. I don't know that I really built the right deck. I kind of played against a bunch of aggro in all my testing. I built a deck that I thought would be pretty good against aggro, and I think it was. But there weren't really many aggro decks in my pod, and I think that, not to say that was the problem, but maybe I should have been the aggro deck, because I had an aggro deck I could have built that would have been all right. But my pod was also stacked with great players and great decks. I'm not complaining about any of it. I played some good Magic. I got some games. I finished 2-3. My whole pod was 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. So it was a pretty evenly split pod. Played some great games, had a good time. Happy to say I was involved. So thank you so much to everyone who did Player of the Year, people who are still in Player of the Year. And because we're covering two things at once, the whole theme of this show is just going to be off and weird, because we have to say goodbye to some people who didn't make it through to week 2 of Player of the Year.
Sir, there has been a murder, and you are a suspect.
Chris O, Raphael F, Nick A, Jack H, Sawyer T, Daniel M, Christopher G, John P. Those are everybody who was eliminated in round 1 of Player of the Year. Gone but not forgotten. Happy to be involved, like I said, and to everyone else. I hope you had a good time. I hope you were having some fun. So now we have week 2, Player of the Year. They got 9 packs of sealed every set we played this week. They got a sealed pool. They got to build it. They got to play against each other. Pod E, the Bloomborough pod, is Miranda, Evan, Dan A, Steve T, Ryan M, Maxime R, Nick S, Johnny M. Thunder Junction pod, the other pod, Jordan M, Daniel G, Richard K, Lot P, Michael B, Zach C, Thomas C, Mitchell S. 4 people from each pod will be moving on into the last round, the Mega Draft, the top 8, the creme de la creme, right? All great players, all great people. I want to say every single person on this list has been on the show. Am I wrong? Everybody has. Miranda, Evan, Dan, yeah. You've all been on. You're all wonderful players, and you know what? You're good people for coming on the show. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've all got to learn a little bit about these people. If you want to listen to those old episodes, they're on the YouTube. They're on the archive. But root on your favorite player. We got the bets going. I bet on myself to win in the first week. Had to redo all my bets because dumb me didn't win. Thanks a lot, me. So now, yeah, we're out. We rebet. I'm not saying who I put it all on. I'm not saying. But I'll tell you if they win. Or maybe I'll tell you when they lose, and then I'll say, I put my money on this person. They're amazing. They know who they are. I'm sure. It's not just Player of the Year, Week 1. It's Duskborn Kickoff. Duskborn pools will be rolled as I record in about 2 hours. It's 2:50 p.m. EST down here in North Carolina. By the way, in the middle of a hurricane right now as I record. So when I say there's a lot of things going on, you got Player of the Year going on. You got Duskborn League pools rolled today. You got Duskborn Set, which just came out a couple days ago, which I think is great, by the way. I'm really liking Duskborn. I have high hopes for this format. I feel like this is going to be a good one. You also have Roto going on. I am in the slowest Roto pod in the world. If you're in there, you know who you are. You're all so slow. Everyone else is... the other teams are... pods are playing games. We're still picking. And it's fine. I'm actually having a great time with it. I love it. But I'm going to make fun of everybody for being slow. Because the set's out. I'm playing the set. We still have so many picks left. And you got the fantasy football is going on. I made it to the finals, the playoffs in Johnny's fantasy football event. You may remember I started 0-4, but I actually finished 7-5, turned it all around. So happy to be involved in the fantasy football playoffs. We're going to see if we can't squeak in and take this thing all the way to the end. We like the deck. We like what we're doing. But you got fantasy football going on, and then you're in a hurricane. So there's just a lot of things going on. So if I sound a little spastic or a little... I'm covering 2 tournaments at once while in a hurricane, while I'm also doing 2 other drafts and waiting for my sealed pool to come out. It's a busy day. Okay. And I finally got caught up on the Duskborn story. If you haven't heard the Duskborn story, get caught up, give it a listen to on the podcast. I'm going to play a little clip. They were telling the story, and they played this little bit, and I thought it was so interesting that I really wanted to bring it to the show because I think it really sets the tone for the set. So let's go ahead and listen to this clip from the Magic Podcast. I was building my sealed pool late one night when my mana base beheld an eerie sight. From my deck, from its pool, began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he built a deck. He built a sealed deck. 60-card deck. Add more or less, what the heck? Don't get wrecked. Before you start, do a check. 60-card deck. He built a spooky deck. From Manifest Dread to the Delirium Creeps. Unlock your rooms, their enchantments for Eerie. Whoever is left fights for their survival. They can't stop my impending arrival. He built a deck. He built a sealed deck. 60-card deck. Add more or less, what the heck? Don't get wrecked. Before you start, do a check. 60-card deck. He built a spooky deck. New players were having fun. The league had just begun. Participants included Chris York, Damien, and Jordan. Oh, we got him. No, we do have a Duskborn song, you dummy. Of course I did a Duskborn song. You crazy? It's Halloween time. I love this stuff. Yeah, we got the Duskborn song going. Duskborn League kicking off. What do you need to know what's happening? First of all, I think this set's great. I think this set's really cool. I've only done like 2 drafts in a sealed, but everything has felt good. Rooms look great. Mechanics, Eerie and stuff are awesome. Manifest Dread's really cool. There's Mill. There's just a lot of different strategies. I don't feel like I'm getting run over by stuff. I have really high hopes about this format. This could be a really good one. This could be the best one we've had in a long time. Okay, I'm not going to say too much yet, but wow, I am really liking, and I'm the horror guy. I love the theme. I get beat down with a baseball bat. Cool. I'm happy about it. What a cool flavor. How awesome. It's just done so well. But we got to talk about the rules, because the rules for Duskborn League are a little strange. Your initial deck starts at 60. Every time you win, you add 2 cards to your deck. Your dread level increases. The mechanic is dread. Every time you win, you add 2 cards to your deck, but you don't actually add those cards until you lose. So you don't have to change until you lose, okay? So if you go on a win streak, it's fine until you lose. And then, boy, is it a bad time. Every time you open a pack, you will change. If you get Duskborn, you add 0 cards to your pool. or to your deck, right? So Duskmourn is even. Everything else is you minus. You can make your deck a little smaller. This is how you combat the wins. MKM -2 to your deck. Innistrad Crimson Vow -3 cards to your deck. Innistrad Midnight Hunt minus 3 cards. Theros Beyond Death -4. Shadows over Innistrad Remastered -4. I love it. I think it's great. Now, I was originally on the all Duskmourn plan, but then someone showed me the math. And if you go all Duskmourn, yeah, so if it's +2 for every win, and you go 20 and 10, right? By the time you get to 20 wins, you've added an extra 40 cards to your deck. You've got 100 cards. And then if there are people who are trying to go lower, and you're playing a 100-card deck against people's tuned 40, 50-card aggro deck, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be tough. I'm super excited to see the strategies that people take on this one. I don't know. I don't know that there is a great strategy. I think going 40 cards is a little scary. The set does kind of seem to be a little bit of a grind. Manifest Dread, put stuff in the graveyard. Like, it's easy to run out of cards and games can go long. So I think having more cards could be an advantage. But those 40 card tuned decks, like, if you only need to get to turn 8 or 9 and you can do it, make it happen. I don't know. I don't know if the strategy is like an OTJ where you go bad pack, good pack, bad pack, good pack to kind of offset it and keep it even. I don't know if you stay with Duskmourn early to stay on set, or if you go offset early to try to get your deck size down so you can kind of play more tuned and less air. I don't know. Currently, my here, right now, off the dome, my current thought. I think you go -4 early. I mean, of course, I think it depends on the deck, but usual starting pools have not great stuff in them. Maybe you go -4 early. I don't know. I think there's a lot of different ways this can go, and I don't know that there's a right or a wrong. I also haven't put a bunch of thought into it yet, but I know I want more Duskmourn packs. I know that. I know I want more Duskmourn packs, unless I just open a busted pool, and then I'm just like, whatever, get it down. We got all the bomb rares we need right off the bat. That would be wonderful. I'm going to find out in 2 hours if that's the case. Okay, sorry. Because there's so much to cover, I feel like I've been talking forever. We got a guest this week. We got to bring him on. I got to talk to somebody this week. Somebody I got to meet recently. Let's go ahead and get to our interview.
Listen, stranger. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. It ain't.
That's right. This week, I talked to Richard K. Preacher, last year's Player of the Year. Met him at AGL Con. Stayed in a hotel room with him for a couple days. He was there when I ate my poutine for the first time. Okay? Richard's a great guy. I'm so happy I got to meet him, spend time with him. I've been playing Magic against this guy forever. He is a gosh darn good Magic player, isn't he? One of the best drafters there are. Dude knows how to draft. Guy knows how to deck build. He's got his Popper Cube. He won the Magic game show that I did. The accolades go on and on and on for Richard. He's got feature matches that he commentates. They're coming back. What can I say that hasn't already been said? Go ahead and listen to my interview with last year's Player of the Year, who is still in it, Richard K. Preacher. All right, everyone, join me this week as we talk to none other than our current Player of the Year, 2024's Player of the Year, no, 2023 Player of the Year champion, Richard K., a.k.a. Preacher. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Hello, thank you. Yes, I'm old news now, but it's better than being no news.
Yeah, old news is still good news, right? Like
Exactly.
Yeah, you put your name up in lights at one point. You had a year to celebrate, and that's actually where we want to start. I want to know what that year was like. What was it like being top of the server, purple name, Player of the Year? What was it all about? What did it mean to you, Richard?
I mean, I liked it. I liked it. It was a nice validation of the work I was putting in because, I did have some ups and downs with sort of my confidence, especially with the influx of such high quality of players. It shook me a little, in the preceding year or so. So it was nice. It was nice, and was happy to do it.
Hey, you still got it, and
Yeah.
and you made plenty of top 8s this year. You would have made Player of the Year if you didn't have the auto invite, but you still had a great Magic year. A few top 8s in there. You're still out there playing some great Magic. I still see you doing drafts all the time up on the server.
So Well, last year you asked me like, what's next? Like, what's your goal for the next year? And I did
Hmm.
mention something last year when I was on. It was almost around the same time, and it was despite my success in the shorter leagues, it had been so September 2023, a year ago. It had been almost 3 years since I made top eight of a 6 week full length league. I said that's on my list of things to do this year because it had been a very long time, and
Yep.
I was able to do that 3 times. So
Three times?
yeah.
Wow.
So it was that was a nice boost too because even with the player of the year and even with the 3 week wins, I still felt like something was going wrong around weeks 4 or 5, and sometimes it was my interest that was waning and
Sure.
therefore my success, to be honest, with some of the sets and some of the pools that I had. But it's just proved like I can still hang in the 6 week leagues as well.
I mean, super impressive to top eight 3 6 week leagues. I mean, not easy to do. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. Those are Discord numbers, Richard. Those are Discord
Uh,
numbers, if we're being honest.
we try. Look.
Well, from 2023 to 2024 player of the year, you got the auto invite because you're the player from last year, but you would have got in anyway. How has this year's tournament been going? We're in round one. We did the little draft of the packs.
Yes.
So how's it going? And did you have any strategy going into your draft pack picks?
Okay, so I got pulled as number one pick in my pot. It was
Ooh,
random, and I didn't see, I guess I missed the memo about MH3 that everybody else seemed to have got because I went for March of Machine.
wow, huge.
Um, yeah, well, it sort of ticked a bunch of stuff off like that I didn't think MH3 did necessarily for a pack, which is like cards are generically strong, lots of good removal. Most of the commons are not like deck specific.
Hmm.
Uh, bomb rares, bonus sheet, fixing, all the good stuff. So I'm happy with my decision. Looking back, maybe OTJ might have been like the next in line, just because the one thing I didn't think of was the play booster impact of
Yes.
like, getting potentially three rares and like six uncommons. So,
Hmm.
but I took the mom pack, was happy with it. And then my other packs actually took based on the fact that they had a bonus sheet. The next three picks were all sets with bonus sheets. So it
Wow.
was Brothers War. So I was picking first. So by the time it got back to me, there were the lion's share of the really, really great ones were gone. So I
Hmm.
took Bro, I took Strixhaven, and then the next time around I took Shadows Remastered. And they all had
Oh,
bonus
nice.
sheets, and all four of my bonus sheet cards were absolute stinkers that would never go in basically any deck. So I got
Hey,
a Rona, Shoulder's Faithful, Sculpting Steel, Hollow Hinge Scavenger, which is a 5 mana 5/5 that gains life when it comes in,
hmm.
and Strixhaven. Oh yeah, Claim the Firstborn. So there
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
you go.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah. The bonus sheets have I mean, they got a high ceiling, but they got a
yeah,
low floor too. They got a real
yeah,
low
yeah. I'm
floor.
I'm 0-2 so far. We'll see. I still have a few games left. My deck, I built a deck that could utilize my strongest rares. So how good is the rest of the deck? Well, I'm 0-2, so here we are.
Yeah, sounds like me and you had a very similar deck building experience where I opened a Roxanne and I was like, well, I'm
Yeah,
playing Roxanne. That's the best card I opened, and it's like the best thing in my pool. So I'm gonna put that in a deck. How's the deck?
yeah,
It's got a Roxanne in it. I can
yep.
tell you that.
I mean, I did get a Chrome Host Seed Shark from
There you
my
go.
mom pack, and
Nice.
then with the absolute last pick of the draft, like I didn't even pick it, right? Somebody picked it for me.
Hmm.
Rivals of Ixalan, I got Angrath.
Nice.
So I said, I'm putting those in the deck. Whatever 21 other cards I need to make that work, that's what we're doing.
Yep. I have noticed that not everybody's pool is built the same. In fact, if you look at the O2s, you got big names like Richard, you got big names like
Oof.
Jordan, you got big names like Goku. Okay, these are the kind of players that are just not starting strong in Player of the Year, but they're strong players. It's I think for the packs themselves, like there's definitely better packs than others, but it's so dependent on what you open, right? Like I'm seeing
Yeah.
people with pockets of synergy just from one pack where it's like You
Oh
know,
yeah.
they got Ikoria and they've got 3 mutating creatures, and like those
Very
that's
good.
that's
Yeah.
that's enough, you know, like that's a thing.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking too hard about what sets go well with each other. I just said, well, these sets have bonus sheets, so that's like
Hmm.
an extra chance at something cool and potentially extremely powerful. So
Yeah,
yeah, and they all
I
missed, but that's how it goes.
yeah, sometimes you just gamble because I know there are those people who are like, I'm going after artifacts or I'm going after energy or adventures, and like,
No.
yeah, there is synergy out there, but yeah, I did the same thing. I planned for power, and you know, the problem with that is if you don't open the power, you're just opening up some packs of cards.
Yeah, that about describes it. Yes.
Well, I would love to talk to you. I always see this meme and the limited hot
Oh
donging,
boy.
the Vader meme, which you have embraced, and it's the meme that says yeah, was it the lack
I
of
I I
yes.
find your mana base disturbing rather than lack of faith.
So you have been the mana based police, basically, shall we say? I would love to know what makes a Vader mana base. What are you looking for to say I gotta post the meme? They did it.
Yeah. So somebody actually called me out on this during OTJ and was like, what is the what is the actual criteria? And
Hmm.
so I made a list and I posted it and they were not satisfied, mostly because all of the things I'm about to say are extremely subjective, right? Like they're all
Sure.
just like it's just like me standing on my soapbox ranting and you know. So I did make a list and some of these are based on OTJ cards, which are recent enough. So my first point, it said criteria for Vader mana bases include, but are not limited to. So it could be more than what's on this list. So first I said splashing for 2 and 3 drops whose power lies mainly in casting them on curve. And for examples, I put Seraphic Steed and Vile Smasher. Because I would see people splashing like those cards in their decks, and I'd be like, well, that card's good because you could play it on turn 2.
Hmm.
You know? Like later in the game, you know, if you're playing your Demir Crime Outlaw deck, and if Vile Smasher is the last card that you cast because you're waiting to draw your mountain, like that card ain't doing very much.
True.
Um, the next one was playing 2 and 3 drops of 3 different colors. And by that, I mean just like 2-drop creatures, like creatures that you would normally want to cast on turn 2, you know, like 2/2s with, you know, some attack trigger or whatever. And like
Hmm.
just putting blue, black, and white 2 drops and 3 drops as if you were going to have them on turn 2 and turn 3 every single game,
Sure.
which some people do have the skill to do, but I don't. What else on the list? This one's a bit more rare, but it happens. I put a splashing for fixing. You know, I've seen like you know, somebody's playing a Sultai deck, they got 4 green cards, and one of the green cards is Cultivate. Well, it's like if you're casting Cultivate, you already have your green mana, so
Yeah.
you know.
If you're fixing, right, if you that's the beauty of green, right? Green gives you the fixing. You don't splash green
Yeah,
for fixing. That's crazy.
yeah. There's like yeah. So there's I also put splashing for double mana symbol cards.
Oh, yep, the double pip splash.
So, I mean, there is like an upper echelon of cards that are probably worth like warping your mana base for in the history of Limited, like Dream Trawler, Elish
Yeah.
Norn, Grand Cenobite. Like, there's ones that like, even if it's extremely late in the game, it can still pull you a win
Hmm.
just by its own power. But that's like, you know, 0.5% of all the cards that are available. So, whenever I see people just, you know, splashing their, you know, double black removal spell because they have a bunch of fixing, I'm just like, you know, we're on a Vader trajectory here. I also put not enough fixing lands. I mean, you know,
Sure.
just like you just don't have enough sources. But most people are pretty good with getting enough sources. But and the last one, which is by far the most subjective one, is splashing for cards whose power level don't justify the strain it puts on your mana base. See, I'm very
Ooh,
selective about the
I like
cards
that.
that I would want to splash, but other people just seem to throw anything in. One card I can actually talk about briefly, and I think I actually mentioned it to you when we met because you had it in your league pool, was the Castro, the Wind Crested.
Yes, Castro, the
Um,
bird.
yeah, like I read it, I'm like, wow, this is great. Like easily splashable, has a big impact. But then like I have to look at the set, Bloomburrow, right? Birds were not generically strong.
Hmm.
So in order to splash it, it's maximized by having birds in your deck. There's not that many birds that go in non-bird decks,
Yeah.
you know? And then I asked myself, how am I casting this card? Right? If I'm green, it means I'm playing fixing cards. But they actually made a lot of the fixing cards not synergistic with the creature types. Like the 2-drop mana dork in green was a
Hmm.
mole.
Yep.
We had Heaped Harvest, which was good for the food deck, but you didn't really want to run it in other decks. Even the rare Mana Dork with Offspring was a possum. If you're trying to splash Castrol in your green-blue deck that has a bunch of frogs, well, these cards are taking away from your frog count, and things like that. So, no, I think about that, right? And if I'm not green, it means I'm probably playing Fountain Port Bell, maybe Patchwork Banner, maybe a few lands, but that runs risks too. So, yeah, and then I think about, what does this card actually do? If you have a bird when it comes down, what does it do? The bird hits, you draw a card, you put 2 counters maybe? That's cool, but it's not going to pull you out of a game that you were behind, which I think I want a splash card to maybe do. So, yeah.
No, I like it. I don't know if you've noticed, but that's something I've noticed in leagues over the years, is that the splashiness is more and more. It's more for power. It's more for it's more, 3-4 colors, splash those bombs. I'm seeing a lot more of that now than I did 2-3 years ago.
And it's very set dependent, because the example I just gave in Bloomborough, the more cards you put in your deck to make you splash, the less synergistic your deck's going to be, and it's a synergy format. In OTJ, that was a splash format. You had Hard Bristle Bandit, you had Dance of the Tumbleweeds, you had Outcast or Greenblade. You want to play those anyway. So you want to play those anyway because they're good. So you could and they fix, and it's not taking away from your deck. But if you're playing a green-blue deck, or if you're playing a white-black deck and you want to splash Castrol and you have a bunch of bats, every Fountain Port Bell you put in your deck is making it a little less synergistic. So that's just a glimpse inside my thoughts about those type of cards.
I love it. Quick player of the year segue to me. So I was, when I was doing my deck building, my deck building, my play testing on my stuff, I played 3 colors, and I basically had 2 different builds of Jund, where I had a green-black deck with a little bit of red, splashing Roxanne, and then I had a Gruul deck with a little bit of black, splashing some removal, right? But the problem was the green-black deck had to play all this bad fixing to make the red. I had to play New Horizons, and I had to play the 2/2 artifact that gains 2 life, but it can tap for any color. But it's a 3-mana 2/2, right? But it's I'm playing I'm playing all this bad fixing to make Roxanne work, right? But if I play red-green, I've got a couple green-black lands. I can use those as my fixers. I don't need to play, these bad fixing cards. I can focus more on just building the best deck I can, instead of the deck that's going to play the cards. And that was something I really struggled with, but I decided on I didn't want to fill my deck with cards that are here to fix, because they're also not good fixing cards.
Look, I'm the poster boy for consistency over power, right? I'm cool with giving up on how powerful a deck could be to just have something functional that can work.
And I think that's something I've always agreed with you on, is mana bases and keepable hands. I know me and you we'll look at a hand and we'll see 2 lands, nothing to do till, or maybe you can't cast anything, but if you draw that land, I'm no, it's too risky. We don't like those hands.
I've been told that I mulligan too much.
Oh no! See, but then people will watch, and I also hear, I haven't seen, but I hear the Discers keep hands that most people would mulligan.
Yes,
they'll keep crazy hands.
Agreed. And I'd say about at least the stream matches that I see or whatever, I'd say it works out about 60 to 70% of the time they get what they need.
Those are good numbers.
Keeping one-landers and stuff,
oh my god, never.
You run the numbers, there is a way to calculate what's the odds of drawing it and whether it's correct or not based on that. So, but I just look at the hand, I'm I see the fail case, they see the success case, right? So
yeah,
it's a different, nobody's objectively right or wrong, but it's just how people wish to play the game.
Yeah, and it's, again, I think me and you share a lot of similarities when it comes to our risk aversion, really.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I may have asked this question to you before, but you're someone whose opinion on this I would love to get, because you're a big drafter. You've been drafting a long time. What are some of your favorite draft formats, or what is the favorite from Richard K. Preacher? What is your go-to?
Yeah, well, go to or go home, I guess. But
Hey,
yes.
I love it.
For me, it's like there's no, I like the word favorite because best is not really a word that should be used, but like mine, it's based on memories. It's based on like where the set caught me as a Magic player. Like, and the one I come back to always and I rave about and is Cons of Tarkir. It caught me at the right time. You know, I'd been playing Magic for less than a year. I'd started earlier that year, 2014. The first draft I did was like the second set of the Theros block,
Yes.
and then I drafted M15, which was after that, and I found it interesting, but it was like it was ABC. It was, you know, oh, well, in the core set there wasn't even gold cards. In Theros there wasn't really archetypes. It was just all enchantment stuff.
Yeah.
And I just found the concept of drafting and building fun. But then Khans of Tarkir came, and it just taught me so much about the game. I learned about ally colors, enemy colors, right? How
Mhm.
all the things match up, what the colors do, how they interact with each other, how to build mana bases, how to draft fixing. You know, I would look at a card like the Chief of the Edge and the Chief of the Scale, those the Orzhov cards,
Yes.
and
Warriors.
it taught me so much when I would think about it. So it's warriors, so white black warriors, they're both good. But then I think what other decks do they go in the set? Well, they can go in Mardu, right?
Yep.
But really, it's the Chief of the Edge that you want in the Mardu deck. It's more aggressive. You want the power. And on the other side, it's like you have Abzan, where the Chief of the Scale is going to be a little better. It gives you the extra toughness, right? They were looking to do the Outlast thing and
Hmm.
block for a while. And then that made me learn, okay, red is more aggressive in this set and green is more defensive in this set. And it just everything clicked, you know? Like each color, what role it played in its clan. You know, because like I look at a Teamer deck, what's the blue for? It's like bounce spells, tapping stuff, you know, leave out mana to counter. And then like in Sultai, blue is like fill your graveyard, draw cards, value. And it's
Yeah.
like they're doing completely different things. I learned so much about drafting. Like the first time I built a 5-color deck, I was like, wow, I did not even would not even imagine this is a thing. It caught me at the right moment, you know? And I get why people, when it came to Arena, people that never played it and have picked up Magic in the last, you know, 5, 6, whatever years, didn't didn't
They
really
hated. They
find it
didn't like it.
interesting.
They
I
didn't
don't
like
play
it.
like I get it, but it just caught me at the right time. The set that I've played since I started in 2014 that I personally think is like the biggest masterpiece of a set design for me personally. What I like to do is War of the Spark because it was such a wild swing,
Yeah.
and for me it worked. It was one of the most polarizing sets. I don't know anybody that just says, "Oh yeah, War of the Spark was okay." It's like either it's like great or never want to touch it. So I thought that was a masterpiece. So if you ask me what was like the best set for draft since I started, I think that was like the biggest achievement as far as a design set. But Khans of Tarkir, favorite again based on memories and where it grabbed me in my Magic journey.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna ask you a follow-up. What's a more recent set that you've really liked? Maybe one from the last year or last 2 years that you thought was really good. Because
Yeah, I think March of Machine was a
yeah,
pretty big swing too, as far as well thematically, but also just like you know the way the set drafted, and I thought that was really really nice, really really good mix of a lot of different things, powerful stuff, but answers to it, and not these like rares that would just like instantly run away with the game when you play them on turn 3, like we had in like something like LCI where there was like just these oppressive little 3 drops and things. So yeah, Mom to me was probably the one that I'm clinging most to for the last couple of years. Does give me like War of the Spark vibes. Well, story wise, very very similar thing that was going
right.
on, but
Yeah.
just yeah, like the reach of the set thematically and the way it played. I thought it was a triumph, I would say.
Two sets that were the culmination of years
Yeah.
of story, right? That are like Nico Bolas getting taken down in War of
Oh
the
yeah,
Spark, and then you get the Phyrexians getting taken down.
kind
Do you,
of.
kind of, yeah, kind of. Here's the thing: is this was
Kind
Mom
of.
was what like over a year ago or close to a year, right?
Spring of last year.
Spring of last year. So like,
So 2023.
what are we building towards now? What's the next mod? Like, I don't even know who the new bad guy is right now. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going. Like Jace is. I don't know what's going on anymore. I need to listen to the Duskmorn stories, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next thing, the next big buildup, the next big mom War of the Spark. You know, the next final fight. Those sets are so good.
I guess we'll know it. We'll know it when we see it, I guess.
It'll. I'm sure they've been placing like little Easter eggs of what it is for sets
Yeah,
now, and it's out
maybe.
there. The Fermori. I know people keep talking about those guys. I don't know anything about them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big story follower, so I wouldn't be able to clue you in on any of that. Sorry.
I try to be. I want to be. But the Bloomberg story, it was the frog, Richard. It was the frog.
Oh, Glarb? Was that it?
Yeah, it was Glarv. He was the bad guy.
I mean, you could tell, right? Like
yeah, him and Cruel Claw is both of them together.
Yeah. Well, Cruel Claw. I mean, yeah. Come on.
big surprise there, right?
Wow. Okay.
Well, we got your questions from the league.
Nice.
Are you ready, Richard?
Sure.
All right, we got some good ones. I did kind of push the scale a little bit and ask for some food questions for you because I know
Sure,
you love to give them. So I want to know what's Richard's food taste.
There
Our
you go.
first question comes from Russell S. Arstad. What is the most amusingly named dish you've ever eaten?
So this one actually was the one that came to mind was something I had on my road trip to the US last year. And like when I do these road trips and I'm stopping into these cities, part of the appeal is like searching out local regional foods.
Yes, I love it.
Right. So like I'll look up like what's the dish or what's the cooking style or what's a restaurant that you must go to. And so when I was in Cincinnati, I looked up and I discovered there's a local chain called Skyline Chili.
Oh, I've heard but never had.
So it's just in Cincinnati and the surrounding towns. So I went, and it's they call it chili, but well, really it's spaghetti with a meat sauce. So it's a spaghetti with a meat sauce, and then on top of it, there's like a pile of shredded cheddar cheese, like a pile, like almost as much as there are noodles. There's cheese on it, and so that's called the
but
three-way.
It's not melted cheese, right? It's just cold.
It melts into the sauce because the sauce is and the noodles are steaming hot.
Okay.
So that's called the three-way. But if you want to get more adventurous, you can add some beans and or some diced onions to make it all the way up to a Cincinnati five-way, which is what I consumed while in that town. And I mean, it was spaghetti with bolognese sauce, which I mean, it's good. I liked it. Is it chili? Not to my knowledge, but it was good, and it was a Cincinnati five-way, and now I could tell people that I had one. So
that sounds like something Cody would get up to at Burning Man. Cincinnati five-way.
He's like, Cincinnati five-way. I raise you a Nevada nine-way. Oh, I'm like, okay, full.
But would you recommend it? Like if like I've never had it, but I like spaghetti. I like cheese. Like would you recommend it?
I mean, if you're in town, have it, right? It's like it's like a regional thing. So it's something you can't get anywhere else. It's a unique dish, like spaghetti with cheddar cheese, beans, and onions. Like that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Sounds good to me. So yeah. I would recommend a Cincinnati five-way.
Speaking of regional dishes, our next question comes from Bob P, aka Hit. What is your perfect poutine? I gotta know.
So I've been critical of poutines ever since you were talking about wanting one, and I think it's an overrated dish. I will say, like when you order a poutine and it's presented in front of you, it looks very nice. It's glistening. The cheese is there. And after the first few bites, to me, it becomes an appetizer. So I think you sort of experience that, or at least, like halfway through the poutine, it's just I'm just looking at fries and sauce, and I'm like, I don't want to eat anymore. Like I'll eat the meat if there's meat on it on top. I'll eat that. I'll get through the cheese. My problem is usually with the gravy. I find it's either salty or watery, and they just put way too much. And so they serve it in a bowl, so there's like a pool at the bottom. It's not really something I like that much. But I do know the perfect poutine. I actually found I don't have to dream it. It's 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now. 2-hour drive in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It's a restaurant called Elgin Street Diner, which is like a 24-hour diner that serves like all the diner foods, pot like a display case of pies, like just like your classic diner. And they have perfected the poutine because they have taken the concept and turned it into something that is much more than the original. So So
It's elevate.
they do a super thin cut fry, very, very thin and crispy.
Okay.
And their sauce is very, very dark and much thicker. So it almost looks like it's a consistency of like a chocolate sauce that you would like put on like an ice cream or something, like the consistency of it.
Interesting.
So it holds up better. You're not left with like a pool of sauce. And the one that I like there, they just throw a bunch of bacon and fried onions on top. I mean, they have a bunch of different varieties, but that's the one I like there at Elgin Street Diner. And that I usually go to Ottawa like once or twice a year, just like a day trip, just to change it up. And my last stop there. So whatever I do during the day, my last stop is always get my poutine and head back home.
That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. I had poutine 3 times when I was in Canada.
Yeah.
I haven't had it since I've been back. I want to try and make it, but I don't know that I can find cheese curds down here. I don't know that exists. That's my problem.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I never thought of that. Here they sell it everywhere. Like you can get in a gas station here.
Just cheese curds? No,
Yeah.
I looked at the grocery store. We don't have them. I'm gonna have to find like a specialty dairy
Cheese shop,
store.
maybe?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a cheese shop or something. Which again,
Farmers market, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know that we got cheese shops down here. This is the South. That's not
You
something.
gotta.
I don't know. we got some weird stuff. I don't know if we got cheese shops. I'm on the hunt.
All right. Good to know.
But yeah, that sounds great. Like a thick demi-glace almost, and like
Yeah, it's so good. The first time I had it, I'm like, okay, I'm never having poutine again in Quebec. Like ever. I had one with you in Ontario for solidarity. You're trying your first poutine. I'm gonna
Yours
have a
looked
poutine
great.
too.
You had like
they had the Korean beef.
Korean beef. It looks so good.
Yeah. So the flavor was good, but it's the same thing. Once I get halfway through, it's just sauce and fries, and I'm like, toss it.
Yeah, and those bottom fries, they've been soaking in sauce. They're not very good anymore.
Yeah.
And it's salty sauce, it's salty fries, it's salty cheese. It's a lot of salt.
Yeah, so the one at Elgin Street Diner, they've ameliorated a lot of those issues, which is why it's the absolute perfect poutine for me.
Wonderful. We know you love food, and your next food-related question comes from Miguel B. Athurius. What is your favorite food-producing card?
Yeah, this one's easy. I had it in the El Drain League, the double El Drain League that we did.
Yes,
the one that I won.
You won that, yeah.
And then I actually opened it in Bloomborough League in my Eldraine pack very early on, and it changed the trajectory. It was one of the cards in that pack that changed the trajectory of my league from having a deck that I wasn't really super happy with to having a deck that was a joy to play. And that card is called Trail of Crumbs. It is a delight.
That is a card advantage engine.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really fun in Bloomborough with all the food cards.
Yeah,
just a little something to go over the top.
That's a good, and like that was the one that made the food mirrors kind of a grind in Eldraine too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I could see that being real fun in Bloomborough. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man, good cards, good value. Yeah. It's so fun when you get those like cross set synergies because there's not a ton of synergies from food in there, but like that's a good one. That's like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just that pack had a Feasting Troll King and a Tempting Witch in it also. So that took me from Rakdos to green-black food, which was a joy to play for the rest of the remaining weeks.
This next question comes from Raphael, and I'm hoping you can make sense of it because I don't know that I can.
I'll try. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to defend your Player of the Year position from the more recognized Player of the Year, Simon?
Yes. So he's referring to the Wizards of the Coast Organized Play Network Player of the Year, Simon Nielsen.
Oh, okay.
Like the top performing at the pro level events and Pro Tour winner this year. I'm kind of busy. I got a lot going on right now, but I hereby authorize Raphael to challenge Simon Nielsen on my behalf to a 60-card sealed showdown to decide the true Player of the Year for the last season. So ball's in your court now. Hey,
Raph's a good one to have playing for you, though. He's
exactly.
He's no slouch. Him. Yeah, he'll make something happen. He'll make something out of nothing.
Done.
All right. Our next question comes from Evan. This is a fun one for all you locals.
Yes.
Favorite Chinese restaurant in Montreal?
Yeah. So I absolutely adore Chinese food. I've eaten it since I was a kid. Love it. My favorite cuisine style by far. Could eat it every day because there's so many different types of dishes that I just absolutely love. And I'll mention two restaurants quickly. I see the time's ticking a bit, but I'll mention two restaurants. And both of them were introduced to me by a friend of mine named John Lee. The people from Montreal know this man very well. He's not part of the league. He's never played in the league, but fixture in the drafts in Montreal. Everybody knows him. Great guy. And he's of Chinese descent. And he introduced these two restaurants to me as the most authentic Chinese restaurants in the city, because I don't know, like I couldn't tell you what's more authentic Chinese cuisine. I just know what tastes
Sure.
good and what I like at each place. But he introduced me to these two different restaurants. So if you're looking for Chinese food in Montreal, first one I mentioned is called Kung Ki. It's in Chinatown. That we have a Chinatown here, and he introduced me to this just last year, I guess. I think he had only discovered it. And this is, they're very no nonsense there. The servers are very abrupt and direct. They're not there to smile and ask you how's it going. They're there to just serve you incredible Chinese food and collect your money.
I mean, that does sound like a no nonsense kind of place.
Yeah. The first time we went there, it was three of us. We ordered like one of those, big family style soups as an appetizer. That comes in like one of those big serving vessels, and then the table started to fill up. Appetizers, a couple main courses. There was no more room on the table. They brought someone's main course, and instead of like making room or like motioning us to like move a plate, they just put the plate directly on top of the serving vessel of soup that was not finished being eaten yet.
That's great.
And if you're there near closing, they're going to bring out their very loud vacuum, and like they'll vacuum right next to you, like while you're still eating. If it's near closing time, like. They leave at closing time. They don't start cleaning at closing time. Like a kitchen employee came out of the kitchen, was sitting in the middle of the restaurant smoking a cigarette, which is against the law, in violation of health code, could get the restaurant in huge trouble. Did not give a what. So, but amazing food, incredible food, absolutely great food there. And the other one I'll mention that John Lee also introduced me to a long time ago, it's called PM. It's on St. Catherine Street. There's a block of St. Catherine Street, which is like our main downtown artery. There's one block that has like all different Asian restaurants. And this one is great. If you're looking for a dish recommendation, the sauteed green beans with roast pork or the lamb with cumin, incredible. PM, excellent. And according to John Lee, my friend, who is of Chinese descent, they are the most authentic Chinese restaurants that he's been to in the city.
I love it. Please, we got a lot of people in the league from Montreal. I want someone to go to one of these places for the first time and report back and let us know, because this sounds so good.
There you go.
All right, our last question from Miranda L.
Perfect.
Black Canary, the Great Watcher, Boomborough League winner, currently going into round 2 of Player of the Year. Congratulations, Miranda.
Wow.
What is one of your favorite feature matches you have ever commentated on? Feature matches are coming back. You are the league's go-to commentator. What has been one of your favorites?
So someone asked me this exact same question last year, and I talked a bit about 3 matches from that past year. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to go into detail on those. I do want to mention them though. So if you are a new arrival on the server from the last year or so, go back and watch these matches. Dominaria United week 4 feature match, Christopher G versus Oscar T. That's the Bog Badger game.
Oh yeah.
Brothers War week 2, Tony G versus Chris H. That's the Scarab Feast heard around the world.
Okay.
And then Plane Chase League top 8. So top 8 round 2.
Yeah.
Jesse R versus Sawyer T. And that's the Tamio's safekeeping to gain 2 life when Sawyer sacked his whole board to drain him to death.
Oh, the Tamios heard around the world that one.
Yeah. So I will mention a couple from this past year. The one which I can't not mention because it was the source of the soundboard clip about being the most memorable moment. So of course I have to bring it up. Lost Caverns of Ixalan, week 5. It was Christopher G versus Adam S, where there was a board where Adam played the unstable Glyph Bridge, which was that busted rare, wipe everything away.
Oh, yeah.
And then it turns into a 5/3 flyer that like you either can attack, the opponent can either attack or cast spells. He did that, flipped it. Next turn, Christopher plays Bringer of the Last Gift, which is that 6/6 demon that living dead. Everything's
brings everything back.
there's now 20 plus triggers on the stack. And it is important in the order in which they resolve. So there was a lot of finagling and things going around. But one of the cards brought back by Adam was a card from Kaladesh that grave digs an artifact back to your hand from the graveyard. So he got back the Glyph Bridge, and next turn just did the Glyph Bridge again. It was, like I said, a memorable moment. And the other one I wanted to call out, and not because they asked the question, but because it was one of the more exciting moments just for me, Magic aside, was the most recent top 8 Bloomborough League, round 3 with Miranda versus Dan A. I was just I keep it cool for the commentary. I'm no favoritism, but I was rooting her on. Such a huge important part of our server, and just so happy to see it. And you know what? It was a great match of Magic too. It was an hour-long match.
Yeah.
So, this was an incredible match to culminate this journey. So thanks for asking the question, and you deserve it.
Congrats to Miranda, who's still going, could be our player of the year. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Richard. I wish you luck in the rest of your player of the year tournament. And I know you're going to have a great year. You're a great player. I look forward to the future matches. Can't wait.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Details forthcoming, which is being worked on.
We'll figure it out. Until then, good luck this week.
Yes, thank you, and good luck to you as well.
Again, talking to Richard was awesome. He sent me some examples of decks that had Vader mana bases and limited hot dogging that he found. And I've seen him post that meme already a bunch of times for Duskmorn. Again, super happy to get Richard on. And Richard moved on with a 1-4 record. Wow. What's up with that pod, okay? What's up with that pod? 3 1-4s, 3 4-1s. Richard moves on. It could be between Richard and Johnny. Could be the first 2-time player of the year. Richard could be the first back-to-back player of the year. What an accomplishment. I mean, that's just chisel his name, give him a statue, and put it right outside the opening of the AGL, because that man deserves to be there. Well, I feel like this show has just been so long. So I'm so sorry. But I'm super excited for Duskmorn League. I am excited for the Duskmorn set. I'm going to put this podcast up, and then I'm drafting the rest of the night because I really like this format. It's fresh. It's exciting. I really think all the color pairs seem really good. I'm hearing white's the best color, but I'm enjoying seeing blue out there. I'm seeing some red out there. Again, the rooms. Rooms are a great mechanic. All the enchantment stuff, it's great. I'm not getting run over. I love it. I love it. Fixing is good. Fixing is back. Splash your bombs, ladies and gentlemen. I get ready for Duskmorn pools. I hope everyone's excited for Duskmorn League. I hope people are excited for Player of the Year, for their Roto drafts, for football, for Survivor League. There's just a lot going on the server. Welcome to all the new players, all the new people. It's going to be a good one. I'm ready for it. It's spooky season, and I like spooky time. And we'll see everybody here next week. Until then, I hope you get to keep a good 7, because you want to start off Duskmorn, and you want to keep going to Player of the Year right. And I hope that shuffler is in your favor, because if it's not, you got 6 weeks of Duskmorn, and you'll be out of Player of the Year. Okay, I want all good things for you, as I want them for myself, of course, for us, for all in the AGL League, except for when we're playing. Then you draw bad and you keep bad hands. Why do you do that? But I don't know. But just do it against me, and we'll be fine. Until then, I'll see everybody next week for Duskmorn Week 1 and Player of the Year Mega Draft.